A sign of the lack of faith or a symptom of a weak faith is when we forget who we truly are. When we see ourselves just as being human and flesh, and we forget that part of us is divine, that each one of us have received the gift of the Holy Spirit at our baptism, that God's power is part of who we are, that we are God's children, not just our parents' children, not just only people who were born in this world out of flesh and blood. And that's why the family and friends of Jesus in his own town did not recognize who he is, because they thought, well, he's one like us. How come he knows all that stuff? Where is he getting all of this? They forgot that Jesus is also the Son of God, that he's divine and human, just like each one of us in a different way. We're also divine by adoption as God's children. And when we don't believe this about ourselves, we're not going to believe it about anyone else. When we don't believe this about ourselves, then we limit ourselves to what we think we can do, forgetting that God is always working through us if we allow him. When we forget who we are, then we have no hope. We think we can change anything, we can make a difference, and we give in and accept whatever the current situation is. And that's why God, from the beginning of time, as we heard in that first reading, told the people to have holy days. Days when they all will gather together in a sacred assembly so they can be reminded of who they are. They can be reminded that God is with them, that it was God who got them freedom out of slavery in Egypt. It was God who led them through the desert and led them to the promised land. That they're not alone, that we have this special partnership with God, that God is willing to work with each one of us to free us from whatever we're dealing with, and one day to lead us to heaven. But we can't forget that. When we forget that, then we limit ourselves just to our human nature. Then we too can work miracles, can make a difference, can change the world. Look at the lives of the saints. Maybe let's take Mother Teresa, since we're all familiar with her life. She knew who she was. And although she was an elderly woman, a feeble woman, and yet look what she was able to do. Because she said yes to God and entered in that relationship knowing that God would do the heavy work for her. It's important for each one of us to remember that, to remember who we are, and to believe and to trust that we too can work miracles if we have that faith that tells us, you are a daughter of God, you are a son of God, and God is with you each and every day.